Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today we're going to be going over the latest episode of P-Valley, Season 2, episode number 10, called Mississippi Rule, and this is the season finale. All right, guys, the episode starts off with Haley just sitting there looking evil as heck, watching Brittany and Andre go at it. And honey, she looks like she is enjoying herself. She's loving it. And this is the reason why I hate her now, okay? Because she just doesn't seem like a good person anymore. But anyway, enough about that. So we also see that Andre has been in the lead all night, okay? So they're pretty much celebrating. Corbin comes through celebrating like, hey, Obama, oh, and Michelle, you've been in the lead all night. But like I said last week, guys, I feel like the celebrations were premature. Turns out that it was because we see that Patrice, she gets a call from Wayne and he lets her know that she won, okay? So it looks like we're going to be messing each other's life up, honey. In so many words, that seems like what he said, okay, guys? All right, next. Things seem to have calmed down at murder night, guys, because after that mayhem, I definitely thought it was over. But no, Diamond came through, cleared things up, got a handle on the situation, and continued on with the festivities. So now it's time for Little Murder to perform, and he comes out, and we got DJ Never Scared back, y'all. And remember in last week's episode, I was saying, why do we hear DJ Never Scared? It was kind of making me feel like something eerie because I did not know he was there, right? But turns out this was real. It wasn't something like a flashback or things going on in Uncle Clifford's head. This was what was really going on, okay? He presented Little Murder to the stage. You had Wody over there next to him as well. And Little Murder comes out and he tells DJ Never Scared to cut the music. DJ Never Scared over there looking at him like, okay, what the heck? So he starts to just sing his song a cappella. And I'm going to say sing, okay, because we had somebody in the audience talking about, this nigga gonna sing or what? I said, he is not a singer, all right? Listen, guys, throughout this season, they've been calling Little Murder a singer, all right? And it's clearly that's what they say for rappers as well, okay? And that's fine. But anyway, so Little Murder goes on and sing his rap song a cappella. And he is looking right at Maine while he's saying all of this stuff. And one of the lyrics says something about he put a hole in a ninja and didn't feel nothing. Something along those lines, guys. Okay. Basically, he out here killing folks, and that's what the whole song is all about. 7 pounds of pressure. Then we get the music back on, and out comes Mercedes, and I was so excited. And she was doing her thing, okay? She was up on that pole, beating on her chest, stomping, flying, landing. I'm like, this girl is doing it. All right. And I think it was really good for her to come out on this song as well, because the song, I believe, is called 7 Pounds of Pressure. And we know that in that episode, 7 Pounds of Pressure, Diamond had taken out 7 pounds of guilt from her shoulder because of the whole 7 pounds of pressure on the squeezing of the trigger situation. Okay. So I just thought that was very befitting. When she heard the song, she probably connected to it as well. All right. And hey, it was magic from there, y'all. But regardless to how great their performance was, Maine was not happy about it. Of course, he's looking at Murder like he knows he killed Pico. So you know he want to kill Lil Murder. All right. But another thing is he looking at Mercedes like he feels some type of way about her dancing for or with the ops, you know. And he's real corny for that. But we'll talk about that a little later. So they get off the stage because they just feeling so exhilarated after that. Like, we did that, yeah, this and that. And they go and they see Uncle Clifford, and Uncle Clifford is crying. And they're like, oh my gosh. And they say, I'm so sorry. You know, already they saying sorry because Uncle Clifford is crying. But they're tears of joy because grandmother didn't drink the water, y'all. Okay? She didn't drink the water. And I was saying that her not drinking that water is probably a good sign that she trying to fight and stay here with us, guys. So she coming home, all right? And I was so excited about that. So very happy that my death prediction did not come true. Next, Little Murda and Uncle Clifford have a conversation, and Little Murda is trying to be very open with Uncle Clifford, and he's letting him know that he's thinking about coming out. Okay, what if people knew me for real, especially now that I'm at the beginning of my fame, right? So basically saying this is the best time to come out, you know. Everybody don't know me yet. I'd rather them know the real me, right? Before they see me as something and then I come out later on and it's like this huge shocker, right? So totally get what he means by that. Why continue to live on in this secret, right? But Uncle Clifford had a very different and surprising response. And he's basically telling him that, you know, I don't know about all that. You know, we're going to have to leave this the way things are in this room, in the kitchen. And like basically saying, you know, it's best if we end it now. It was fun while it lasted. And Little Murda is saying, well, if that's what you think is best. And Uncle Clifford was like, yeah, you know, because my grandmother coming home and that's all the B needs and stuff. So you can really see that Uncle Clifford is just full of crap right now. And he's just putting up this wall, you know, because he don't want to get hurt. And, you know, daggone well, he got some strong feelings for Little Murda if he don't love him yet. You know what I'm saying? He got some strong feelings. And he's trying to stop himself from getting hurt. But here it is. Little Murda is telling him, I'm ready, you know, and you would think that this would be great news to Uncle Clifford, but he's fighting it. So unfortunately, you could see that Lil Murda's feelings are very hurt. So he's like, all right then, well, I guess I'll just get my stuff and go, you know. Next, we get to Mayor Bishop. Okay, and she is in her new office, honey, and she's admiring it, ripping posters down and all of this stuff. Okay, then she sits down at the desk and tries to lounge back, honey, and totally falls back. I was crying, okay, like cracking up. Not because I want Miss Patrice to get hurt or nothing, but because it was very funny and I needed that laugh, okay? So we see she has her little press conference and she's on the news, and we see that Mercedes is watching it. And then Mercedes gets a knock at the door, and there's this big FedEx box, and it's a big old picture of her. So she calls Farrah, and she's like, girl, what am I supposed to do with this big old daggone picture? But also, besides that, there is a check for $30,000, guys. And I'm like, wow, Farrah is really looking out for Sadie's. So anyway, the money is not from Coach, okay? This is from Farrah, okay? For Sadie's allowing her to use her art and, you know, the pictures and everything. And also she says that it's royalties. You know, you're going to have royalty checks and royalties are forever. So this should mean that not only does Sadie's have a $30,000 check to cash, but whenever Farrah makes money off of that art exhibit with Sadie's pictures, she should be getting a consistent check coming in the mail, okay, which is so awesome. Next, we got all these women lined up for the losing candidate, Andre, and they bringing him food and all of this stuff while his wife watches from the balcony, okay? Clearly she looks annoyed, but whatever. All right, there's a lot of people that feel like, you know, she got a lot of nerve showing up after she had another man's pinochle in her mouth, okay? But at the same time, I'm not one of them that forgot that Andre was out here trying to have an affair on her first, okay? That's what we saw on screen, so that's what we're going to go with. So Andre is not innocent, and I really don't care for his storyline, to be honest. So Andre could go. Anywho, we get trifling Haley coming up. I guess she about to say her goodbyes to him. And he was like, oh, sorry about last night. And she was like, you wanted to get caught. Like, she think it's cute, you know. And he was like, like he burst her bubble, like, no, leave all that cheating baby mama, this and that antics to Jerry Springer, because that is not me. And she looked like she was a little disappointed or taken down a peg or something. Or maybe it was just that hearing him say all of that made her feel like, okay, well, I can't even tell this dude that I'm pregnant because it might not be no welcoming news to him, you know. But anyway, she was like, is it true you're staying? Is she staying? And he was like, yeah, I'm staying, and she may stay or go. Only time or forgiveness will tell. So it's looking like it is a possibility that him and his wife are going to work things out. We don't know how it's going to be on season 3. Hopefully they get renewed, you know. I don't see why they shouldn't, but whatever. So then he asks her, he said, you think Promised Land gonna give you what you want and need? And she says, yes, and everything I deserve. And just like I said during my live, she sure did get what she deserved, y'all. Yes, honey. Because she got on that phone and called Georgie and was very disrespectful, by the way, okay? And I guess she thought she could be disrespectful because she just knew she was about to get that money, okay? Just totally overly confident, okay? So she calls her and she's like, where's my offer, B? So anyway, while Georgie is apologizing that her dark horse or whatever the heck she called Andre, she was like, I'm sorry he lost. And Autumn was like, well, that was to be expected, okay? What wasn't expected was that casino referendum going through. So now I need my coin, okay? So Haley, you know, she continued to talk all her trash like she knows everything. And now she's going to talk about something. Before I wanted 10, but now I'm in the mood for 15. You see how greedy she is? So that's when Georgie going to pop her bubble and say, honey, I don't need the pink no more. And Haley's like, what you talking about? You definitely need the pink because in order to build a casino around these parts, you need to build it on the water. And Georgie was like, not unless you could get the city to bring the water to you. And I said, Corbin, because you know Uncle Clifford went to the plantation and told Corbin the same thing. Sometimes if you can't get to the water, you need to bring the water to you. And I was like, oh, Corbin, what the heck did you do, honey? But before we get to that whole thing, and Georgie was like, girl, I bet you wish you would have took that $5 million I was offering you that day in the salon, honey. Now you have a blessed day, B. Okay? And I was like, yes! I loved it, okay? Trust. You know I did. And then that's when we get to the next scene with Corbin sitting on the porch with his brother, and he just finished looking at the paper and the headlines, and they clink each other's glasses, you know, cheers and all that. And he gets off the porch and he's screaming, yeah. You know, I told y'all that's that victorious scream, okay? And I did say we have to pay attention to what he told Uncle Clifford that night when he asked Uncle Clifford to whip him. He said, thanks to you, it doesn't matter who won. And I kept saying, why did he say that? What did he do? What kind of deal did he make that we don't know about? Well, here's the deal. That's exactly what he did, guys. He made a deal, and we see that there is water around his plantation. So that looks like what they're going to be building the casino on. Okay, so lots of money coming in for Corbin and his bro. All I could hope is that Corbin will continue to be a friend to the Pink and Uncle Clifford, and that he's through with trying to, you know, rip the head off of Uncle Clifford's Barbie doll, so to speak, if you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, next. Grandmother Ernestine is home, y'all, and she ain't just trying to sit still. She like, Clifford, get off of me now. I got the antibiotics, and I'm about to throw myself a party. She done called Big L and Duffy and the African dude, and listen, she said, I'm about to throw me a party that a bee never got. And that's that. God gave me a second chance, and I'm about to screw some lives up out here, okay? So she's making all of these plans, and she is ready to throw herself a party. I was here for it and loving it. And we also see that whole situation that happened between Big L and Uncle Clifford, man, please, they got over that quick, fast, like family does, okay? Like, fired where? Please, I'm over here for Grandmother Ernestine because she the boss, okay? And that's that. But you know, at the end of the day, they got love for each other. They act like that whole conversation didn't even happen because you saw Big L was right back at the Pink again, especially when it was time to put Haley out. And we will get there. But anyway, as Uncle Clifford is trying to chase Grandmother Ernestine around because she done turned into a whole busybody, okay? She's still coughing a little bit. And Uncle Clifford is still a little concerned, you know. And she's like, I'm negative. Leave me alone, you know. So she goes up the stairs, and as Uncle Clifford is trying to follow behind her, he hears his mother's voice, and she was like, you know she right. So Uncle Clifford goes and finds where the voice is coming from. He knows it's his mother, and he goes into the living room, and he says, if you think you coming for Ernestine again, you got another thing coming. And she said, I ain't come for her. I came for you. I came to let you know that what you did to that boy was wrong. She said, you should be ashamed of yourself. How you gonna let love slip on out the door like that? And he said, you got some nerve talking about love. Look what love did to you. He said it put you on your deathbed, gave you pneumonia and all that stuff. He said, love killed you, mama. And she was like, love ain't killed me. A virus did. I took a risk on love, but sometimes there is a reward. So it is sounding like she had HIV and died of AIDS, or died of complications that come with having AIDS, okay? And it sounded like she got it from somebody that she loved. She took a risk, And she's just basically coming back to tell Uncle Clifford that he needs to give Little Murda a chance, okay? Stop being scared. Next, after we get the scene with Keyshawn and Lil Murda saying goodbye to each other, of course, promising that their secrets are safe with one another. He gave her some money, and listen, she's getting ready to be on her way. But we get to this next scene where Mercedes has finally opened up her business, okay? She got her art on the wall and a little sign that says "It Art" and all of that, which is great. And she dancing gracefully on the pole. So instead of turning this into a dance studio for the little girls, it's now a pole dancing class for grown women, okay? And I think that is definitely going to be more lucrative for her, which was awesome. So then we get Pastor Woodbine coming in, and she said, I just was making my rounds and stuff like that. But then, long story short, she tells Mercedes that she got a call from Shell, or Shell called the prayer line. And look, she wants forgiveness, and she decided that she is going to check into rehab, and she asked if Patrice could keep Terica. And Mercedes was like, is that right? But Pastor Woodbine was saying, I already raised my child, and I ain't got time to do none of that with all the things that I have going on. So I'm going to get the rest of her things out the car. And then she turns and sees Terica at the front door with her suitcase, and then she runs to her mommy and they hug, and I'm like, oh, this is so great. I honestly really enjoyed how this episode went for Mercedes. Okay, next, Haley comes in and she is very upset at Uncle Clifford. Like, what the heck did you do? Because only you could have did this and yada, yada, yada. And she's going off. But anyway, Uncle Clifford was trying to act like, oh, this is cute. Looking at the newspaper like, oh, Corbin, he named a canal for his brother. He's crazy. So anyway, he gets up and he's like, enough of these games. And he gives her a check for $250,000. And she's looking at it and she's like, $250,000? This is a check that Corbin wrote to you. And Uncle Clifford was like, and I'm signing it over to you. I'm buying my club back. That's how much you paid for it, and you getting it right back. And then he was like, I think it's only fair for what you done lost. And of course, Haley is like, this is nowhere near fair. Okay, Haley was not happy with this arrangement or deal at all. She didn't want to be bought out. She wanted that $10 million. She just was not happy. Okay, the fact that she lost that whole $5 million deal, and here comes a chance to have some money that she definitely wasn't expecting to be coming her way, $250,000, I think was very fair, but she wasn't trying to hear it. She just could not let it sit in her head that this was what she deserved. I mean, to be honest, guys, I didn't feel like she deserved it either, because it was money she was stealing from Montavious, but that's neither here nor there, okay? I'm going to give the Haley lovers a little something to hold on to. The $250,000 was fair enough that she could move on with her life and get on somewhere. Go ahead and wreak havoc somewhere else, because that's the type of person she is. That's what she's going to do. And, use her fake names and everything to go on and try to take over somebody else's freaking business. Let her do that somewhere else, She was going to leave with nothing. So there you have that. She was talking all this, I'm the majority owner. He has to negotiate with me. And Uncle Clifford let it be known that, no, but I got 30% ownership in Mississippi rule. Lets it be known that I can negotiate. I got the power. And Corbin was totally fine with it, okay? Long story short, Haley want to call Uncle Clifford an idiot, saying, oh, we could have split this over here, but instead you letting the white people have all this money. Uncle Clifford was like, and then where would I be? Where would I work? And who would I be? How about that? You take the pink away from me, which is not just a building. You take away who I am. You take away my identity. This is my life. So He had to let it be known, look, you made us feel like when you saved the club that day when you came and took it off the auction block, that we had a sister for life and everything, or you was, trying to be a part of our sisterhood. But lo and behold, a sister soon reveals herself to be a snake. Okay, you turned your back on all of us and you turned your back on me. And Haley was like, if it wasn't for me and my money, this place would have been sold for, I think she said, a piece and a penny. And Uncle Clifford was like, and if it wasn't for me and Mercedes, you would be dead. So there, yeah, you better have stayed this club, How people forget. But, Uncle Clifford tells her, I feel sorry for you, little lost girl with no family to call her own. And Haley was like, I don't need family. And I love the fact that Uncle Clifford was like, we could have been that for you. And it's so true. And guys, when I liked Haley, that is all that I wanted her to do. I really wanted her to open up and see that this is a place where you could actually be a part of a family. But she never opened up and she just became worse. All right. And I think what happened with Haley, because I did see a heart on her in the first season, but I think what happened was once the money came into play and she saw how much she could have got, the greed just really took over and she just became this monster, in my opinion. I'm sorry. But actually, no, I'm not sorry because I don't like her. And that's that. Okay, so let's just move on. Well, first, I loved how she wanted to stay and still fight and argue with Uncle Clifford and tell him that the $250,000 needs some interest attached to it. And here come Big L out of nowhere talking about some getting rid of bodies feels like interest enough to me. Right, Diamond? And you got Diamond back there with the freaking chainsaw talking about some compounded. So yeah, they had to toss Haley right on out, honey. But it didn't matter, guys. All the things that was said, getting rid of Montavious for her, saving her life, none of that mattered to her because at the end of the day, she still tried to screw them over and emptied out every freaking penny. All right, and that's what I really hated. But at the end of the day, guys, what can we really expect from Haley? Okay, she didn't really care about anybody. All right. I mean, some folks thought that maybe she cared about Andre, but you saw how that went when he tried to call her. Her freaking number was already disconnected. All right. She can easily cut folks off and move on like it's nothing. Okay. She expressed that earlier on in the season. She was taught that by one of her foster moms. Never get comfortable, never hang your clothes in the closet, because you never know when you might skedaddle or get the packing. So there you have it with her. And then I found out last night that the actress that plays Autumn Night is not going to be returning back. Okay, so that makes me even more upset because I really want to see this character get what she deserves for all the dirt that she's done. Okay, because it's looking like, especially with that little smile that she gave at the end, like she's happy, and she's satisfied. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not happy with her ending per se, but at the end of the day, Uncle Clifford, he was upset about it, but more than anything, he's happy he has his grandmother and he's happy that he has his club, okay? He gonna work it out. He been in the red before. He gonna work it out, and Diamond's probably gonna have to help him with that little side hustle that he got. But guys, although Uncle Clifford got his club back, honey, and he removed the biggest snake in the garden, there are more snakes, okay? And I ain't just talking about our wild card roulette, all right? We already know roulette out here pimping and all that, okay? But we got Nineveh trying to get down with it and keeping secrets from Uncle Clifford. No, baby. This cannot stand. This cannot happen. And we already know that season 3 is coming with more drama and more freaking snakes that Uncle Clifford is going to have to get out of his garden, honey. It's almost to the point where he might need a freaking exterminator, put some snake traps down and all that stuff. And to be honest, guys, I'm still looking forward to my roulette death prediction, okay? I do not think that Terrence is done with her. I do believe he's going to be coming back for her. He knows where to find her. You know what I'm saying? That story is not done. Plus, roulette seems to think that she's invincible, all right? And so I cannot wait to see how that tide turns. Okay. Next, Keyshawn goes to try to pick up her kids at her stepmother's house. Stepmother opens the door and lets it be known that Derek already came and got the kids. And Keyshawn was like, what? You let him take the kids? And of course, Keyshawn is not really letting it be known that she was trying to skip town. But just the stepmother's whole attitude and the way she was talking, it just seemed like she was on some sly stuff. You know what I mean? Like she was being conniving. Like her whole aura just was off. And she seemed like she had this kind of sarcastic attitude in a way, fake nice and all of that. Just horrible, okay? And also talking about how, the baby Regal, she gonna have some pretty long hair, just sounding as ignorant as she want to sound. And then when she said to Mississippi, she was like, wish we all could have help like that. Ain't that right, Alicia? And she turned and looked at Alicia with this look on her face as if maybe she's disgusted or annoyed with her or even mad at her. Who knows? And Alicia got the sad face on. So I'm like, what in the world just freaking happened here, okay? But anyway, y'all already know what happens. Keyshawn gets home and Derek is on the floor playing with the kids, and you got the cops there and the social worker. And I don't even really want to replay this whole situation, but Keyshawn loses it once she's told that she has to basically be monitored for 6 months with these kids because there was a report about abuse. And it was like, where was this report when she took Jalen to the doctor and y'all saw the bruise on his rib, but y'all straight overlooked it? Like, where was that report? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of odd. And the fact that she was the one that took the baby to the doctor should show that she's not the one abusing the baby. So that was just a whole hot mess. And we know that white privilege was all over that thing, okay? Written all over it. So Keyshawn spazzes out on Derek and tries to whoop his behind, okay? The cop grabs her up and he slams her on the floor and he puts his knee in her back. And I honestly thought that he probably was going to, suffocate her to death. But thank God that didn't happen. She winds up getting arrested. And who does she call? She calls her knight, Diamond. And when she started talking about how the big bad wolf swallowed her key and all of this, but remember, there was a knight that told me that he can take care of the situation. Like, she's basically talking in code because only they know that conversation that they had. And I was like, oh no, this girl is not putting a hit out on Derek. Yes. I was so excited, so happy about it. But unfortunately, y'all already know that when Diamond got up to do what he had to do and go get Derek, he had everything in that trunk, and he was going to get rid of the body too, okay? But Big Bone, she was clocking him, and she came outside with her little ninja suit on, and there was somebody else there, and Diamond got stabbed and pretty much jumped and then tossed into the trunk, guys. And that is how the episode ended. That is how the season finale ended, all right? And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Haley. All of this is because of her. Okay, innocent people have to now deal with the aftermath of Montavious' death because of her. Yet she didn't feel like anybody deserved anything. So basically, they all have this lingering and they all have to deal with this situation with Montavious, and they got nothing for it but trouble. She didn't pay them for the troubles that she caused. She didn't pay them for getting rid of the body. She didn't pay them for saving her life, okay? Instead, she wanted to make it seem like they owed her. And that's why I can't understand why people like Haley. It baffles my mind, all right? And that's why we got to go with Auntie Madam's rule number 8 and 9. Keep outsiders outside, okay? But anywho, that's that. We also saw in this episode that Lil Murda, he showed up at Grandmother Ernestine's party, okay? And listen, he came out basically and let everybody know that Uncle Clifford is his lover. And they kissed in front of everybody, and everybody was looking and all of this stuff. So it was pretty funny. I also forgot to mention that Maine had a whole attitude with Mercedes talking about you made your choice and all of this. Like, as if, listen, she's basically a civilian. She's not a gangbanger. She was a stripper at a club. Now she's a businesswoman. What the heck are you talking about? She made her choice. She's not a gang member, dude. Like, are you dumb? So because she was dancing on stage with Little Murda, she's supposed to be the ops now? I mean, makes sense. Anyway, Maine, he's a whole ignorant being anyway, so I don't expect him to make any sense at all. What I am afraid of is he could possibly be the one to eventually kill Little Murda. If Little Murda dies, I don't believe that Little Murda will survive this series, okay? A lot of people are saying, Little Murda ain't going nowhere, this and that and the third. With this beef hanging over his head, I don't think he's going to survive the series if they're being realistic. I feel like we could get to the last episode. Let's say they go to 8 seasons, right? And on the final episode, he gets killed. Like, that's what I see. But anyway, that's the video for today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.